three parts to the demo today that we're going to cover are, firstly, how do you document those BIM uses? So we talked about that just now, how you actually ask the right questions to find out what the target BIM uses are, and then we'll talk about how you document them in an agreement that the owner can actually understand. They can see and they can understand. Then we'll talk about how to agree on the scope that meets those BIM uses. And then we'll talk about, from an owner's perspective, what is important at handover, not a ridiculously complex set of elements and also a long list of information requirements, but what is the set of exchange information requirements the owner really cares about? So we'll dig into how we can do that as well. So the first one, let's talk about documenting BIM uses and switch to software. So what you see on the screen is LOD Planner. And we're going to dig into a project that we already have set up with some teams. You can go through numerous webinars to be able to understand more about this and how you set it up. But let's look at going to the plan. So the first thing we talked about was documenting and asking those plain language questions and documenting the BIM uses. So if we look at in our library and maybe let's just look for BIM uses, and then we can start to bring in, for example, a table of BIM uses, and we can then look for the BIM uses that we would like to use. So maybe we're going to look at coordination and
phase planning.
Yeah. So
cost estimation.
5D cost estimation.
Reminds me of our next webinar.
The next webinar coming up. Yeah, absolutely. So, and then some asset stuff as well from the owner's perspective.
Before you get to this point in discussing, you want to make sure that you're aware what these BIM uses are and what they're going to accomplish and what they require as well. So we have the templates available, but if it's not something that your company could provide as a service, so say you're an architecture company, you wouldn't want to promise structural analysis without getting the right team involved. Mm-hmm. So definitely have those lists of services that you could provide on your own. And if they'd want other services, then that would be something that you clearly define as someone else's responsibility. It could be an extra cost on when getting those teams involved too. So definitely have your list and separate the list that could potentially be from another external team.
Yep. So if Louis is saying that this is an extensive list and we would just have the list that you are able to deliver.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So we would go through this list, and just in the interest of time, I want to jump into the scope more. This is very simple, and there are other webinars on how to manage this. But when you are agreeing with the owner and being able to provide them access to a set of documented guidance in what the selections that you've made and the value that they are going to bring to the project, we've seen a lot of our customers use videos to explain that to an owner as well, inviting the owner to be able to see, comment, having an understanding and interest. This is really, really powerful in order to bring the owner along and understand why we're doing BIM in the first place.
Yeah, so these are some good examples of why we would use these services or these BIM uses, but you would want to describe them in another section, how you would accomplish this. So it'd be your coordination processes. What are the deliverables? So that's also included with BIM uses, typically included with BIM uses. As you progress through a project, you would want to have a clear outline of how you would accomplish this as well.
So you're looking at project coordination process, yeah, and all of the different data, different workflows associated, and we can put those in here as well. So great. So we've asked our plain language questions. We have got the answers and have matched those BIM uses, and then we have documented the BIM uses in a table. We've documented the actual uses and their value. And then we've also documented the processes that our team is going to follow in order to be able to achieve them. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay, great. So what's next? And then we can go through and publish them so that the teams know what's approved. And there's a whole bunch of other things we can go into, but documenting it is key so that we can agree. Then